Okay, guys, I'll be reading part 4 of the Yoruba Bible. But at that time, there were no trees in heaven or on earth that remained covered with water. Eldamar and the other Orisha wanted trees to grow in heaven. To Eldamar caused Ejai, the god of rainfall, to wet the entire landscape of heaven. After the ground soaked in the moisture and became soft, Eldamar caused Iju, the god of the forest, to make trees grow. Iju said, "Let all forms of plants grow from the soil." Gradually, myriads of plants began to emerge from the soft, bare soil. All types of plants, including the sweet and the bitter, the smooth and the thorny, and the poisonous and the therapeutic herbs, germinated and grow. Some plants had fruits, others only bore flowers. Many stood upon huge roots, others had no roots at all. Eldamar inspected the plants and approved of every one of them, because each one had a different purpose and constitution. Now Abatala asked Eldamar, "When shall we establish the human's settlement on earth? That way we can separate human beings from the Orishas. When we know who is who, the Orishas will better be able to protect people." Eldamar said, "We will move them as soon as we prepare earth for human habitation." Lo and behold, the face of earth was flooded, and within the flood was the grand palace wherein lived the goddess of deep seas, Olukun. Olukun heard of the plan to establish the human population earth, but did not like that plan. Since she began to live in the depth of the sea, Olukun had begun to separate her life and existence from others. At some point, she lost direct contact with Eldamar and lived a totally independent life. She exceedingly enjoyed her life under the sea. At some point, however, she became too absorbed in her solitude because she was shielded by the huge body of sea from the others. She became engrossed in herself, in her sense of importance, and in her power and dominion over the entire earth, which was under the sea. She was not there when the plan to establish people on earth was made. The plan therefore caught her by total surprise. She was angry, and many questions quickly crossed her mind. Why did they not consult her before making a decision that affected her own domain? Was it because they thought she was powerless, therefore they could just do anything they wanted without involving her? Her mind was agitated. She therefore decided to prevent Eldamar and the other divinities from establishing human life on earth. She decided that she was going to flood heaven with her waters to demonstrate her powers to the others, who seemed to have forgotten that she, the goddess of large salt waters. She decided that after flooding Eldamar and the other Orishas from heaven, she would later allow them back, if and only if they promised to abandon the project to establish human beings on earth. Olukun personally did not like the few human beings that she had seen. Abatala had said that he would make them perfect, but from Olukun's perspective, they were no more perfect than Abatala himself. And Olukun knew that, just as the other Orishas. Abatala was far from perfect, The human beings that he created, therefore, had all the flaws of the gods. In addition, they had other profound physical and emotional weaknesses and illnesses and totally relied on the Orishas for everything. Their ranks included liars, thieves, murderers, adulterers, debitors, layabouts. The few honest ones are not enough to redeem the warped ones. Yet the Orishas insisted on populating the earth with people. Eldamar has said, the earth will only be their marketplace. Heaven will still remain their home. That is why till today people say that the world is a marketplace. Heaven is our home. Olukun grew even more furious when she learned that people would turn the earth into a marketplace. But Olukun also needed the earth for her studio. For Olukun was an amazing bead maker. She spent her time in solitude making beads, combining dyes and pigments to make amazing beads of dazzling hues. She knew that she would lose her entire bead business once humans came live on earth with her. She knew that some will steal her beads, some will break her bead pots, some will vandalize her studio. Some might even begin to steal her bead making idea and start to make beads themselves because she had no faith in humans and because she was not consulted before the decision was made. Olukun refused to accommodate humans on earth. Now, Elder Mark could sense that Olukun was not happy about the plan to establish the human settlement on earth. Therefore, called a meeting of all the Orishas to discuss Olukun's position. All the Orishas decided that a special messenger should be sent to Olukun to convey the decision to establish the human abode on earth to Olukun. Eldamar then called forth Arumala, the Orisha of divination. Eldamar said, you, Arumala, know the past, the present, and the future. Tell us what will happen after we send a missionary to Olukun. Will she agree to our plan or will she remain against it? And who should we send to convey the message to Olokun? Because the message is as good as the messenger. Arumala asked him to allow him to consult his Ifa divination system. He then brought out the entire Ifa, including the Apel Aruk, upon Agra Ifa. He placed his divination tray on the floor and cast his opal string on it. The Ifa divination signature that the opal forms is Okiyu Maje. Arumala recited that attached Odu verse as follows. Awo Yiku Ma Yiku. I dodge death, you dodge death. To Aku verse loomed so formidably. Ifa divination was performed for Koa and also for Tamudo. On the day that Laskobi was crying due to bareness, it is unlike the snail to sleep outside of its shell. It is unlike the viper to sleep without its poison. It is unlike the cricket to sleep without making grating noises. Not a single Shyamalan moves without a suitcase loaded with 1,000. They asked him to offer a sacrifice. 2 swift running rodents, 2 giant fishes with huge laps, two massive hens, two pregnant goats, two deers with curled horns. He listened to call to offer sacrifices and offered. He paid attention to the needs of Eshu. He heard Akara, the sound of good fortune. He sacrifices work for him. As his younger wife bathes her newly, so does the senior wife deliver her own baby. He began to dance. He began to celebrate. He stretched a leg, danced, tug at it. He says that is exactly how his diviners give thanks and praise to Ifa divination. I dodge death, you dodge death. Two Okiyo verses combined, and the entire world is happy. Arumala said everything will be fine. The outcome of the message, Arumala said, will depend on the presentation of the messenger. Eldamar asks, so who will this important messenger be? Arumala looked around. Directly in front of him was Iga, the Shyamalan. Arumala pointed at the Shyamalan, who was surprised by the choice. Everybody was surprised. Abatala expressed disappointment by the choice of the Shyamalan. Abatala asks, what power has the Shyamalan where Olukun is concerned? Olukun will simply drown the poor fella. It stands no chance. Ashun said, everybody knows the Shyamalan is so ugly. At least send someone who is a little more handsome to do the job. She might fall for the looks and charm. Sopana said, don't send the Shyamalan. It does not look particularly healthy. It walks slowly like a tired, senile fellow. You should find someone who looks more healthy than the Shyamalan, who walks more smartly and thinks more quickly, not a slovenly fellow like the Shyamalan. But Eldamar insisted that they must listen to the voice of Rumala. Eldamar said, whatever the IFA system says, after Rumala was consulted, it's final. So they all agreed to send the Shyamalan to Olukun to convey the news to her. When the oracle chose the Shyamalan to go to Olukun's abode to convey the news to her that the earth was going to be converted to human abode, everybody was totally surprised because it was such an unexpected choice. Most surprised was that the Shyamalan itself, slowly in its ponderous manner, the Shyamalan crawled forward 1 foot at a time. It flickered its tongue 7 times as a sign of greeting to Eldamar and the entities and said, if it will please you, my lord, let me speak here. Why not listen to the voice of the others apart from the oracle? After all, the oracle is simply the voice of the divinity, and only one divinity, that is Arumala. How can the wisdom of just one divinity be more important than the wisdom of the entire group? Everybody here is saying that you need to choose someone stronger, faster, quicker, and more appealing than my poor self for this most important assignment. Yet you insist on listening to the voice of only one divinity. Is that Ifa divinity infallible? Why must the voice of one divinity take precedence over the voice of others? After all, you often say in Proverbs that only several hands will lift the heavy load. Two heads are better than one. And when you listen carefully to what everybody is saying, you will understand that nobody is being malicious towards me. I am kind of slow of movement. It makes me a long time to get from one point to another. The distance between heaven and earth is enormous, even for the fastest of the fellows. It will take some time to get from here to earth. Now imagine someone like me. It would take forever. I would never get there in decent time, whereas a fast fellow would go quickly and return quickly. Secondly, it is no lie that I am not handsome. I don't need anybody to tell me that, because I have seen my own reflection in the mirror far too many times. I just don't look good. There are many fair gents here. There is Ogun, most ruggedly handsome, whose look has never failed to charm female divinities. Olukun would not be able to resist his masculine charm. I feel myself that you must send someone not as ugly as myself to a vain character such as Olukun. She would be utterly disappointed by my looks and would not grant me any serious audience. Finally, it's the issue of my slow thinking. It simply takes some time before things sink into my head. It is not my fault. It's just my nature. Some people think fast on their feet. I don't. It simply takes a moment and a while before profundity or meaning of things is apparent to me, even though others understand immediately. To think of it, I don't even know what you were all discussing at first. But it was not until Eldamar explained it to me that I began to understand. Now everyone knows that Olukun is sophisticated divinity. It would be disaster for an entire human project if Olukun were to ask me to intellectual or philosophical question. I would not even know where to begin to answer a question without anything. Please, Eldamar, this of me is not reasonable. Choose someone else who would get the job done. And stop listening to the voice of one divinity denying the opinion of others. I, Eldamar, then answered the Shaman by saying, I have listened carefully to your plea. You have presented a convincing, moving argument. I am inclined to simply accept your agreement to appoint someone else to replace you. But I would not do so for one reason. You asked whether the Ifa oracle is infallible. The answer is simply yes. The Ifa oracle is infallible. You cannot hear a lie uttered from the mouth of Ifa divination. Whatever the divination says is the truth and entirely the truth. The divination knows no lie, cannot lie, and will not lie because it is founded upon veracity. The oracle is the epitome of the truth. No one must call the oracle a liar. To call the oracle a liar is to be spreading lies and to have no care for the truth. The Ifa divination is therefore not the voice of one fellow, but the fact of all life. To deny the truth of Ifa is to deny the essence of life itself. Because only the Ifa system, the divination, has the record of the very beginning and has kept the record intact since then. Ifa divination knows the present most clearly because it is embodiment of all knowledge. Ifa divination tells the future without fail because the divination exists in the future, even though it caters to the past and the present. Because it exists in the future, it will always live and doubtlessly continue to bring the future and the past to the present. That is why the voice of the Ifa divination must be heard and obeyed beyond and above the voice of any other or any group, large or small. What the future holds is plain to no one except the divination. If we ask the oracle for guidance in whatever we do, it will surely guide us based on what will be our benefit in the future. Because whatever we do or fail to do now will affect what will happen to fail to happen in the future. That is why we need to ask the oracle before we do anything, because we must not regrettably we must not regrettable things. We must not do them. Now that the oracle has chosen you to go on this journey, you have to go because you are the choice of the oracle. Ordinary wisdom says you are the wrong choice, but the wisdom of the oracle is not ordinary, but based on a vision of the present, past, and future. How can you compare the ordinary vision? However numerous the eyes with just one eye of the oracle's vision. It is the difference between sleep and death. We must be careful not to doubt the wisdom of the oracle, but in the wisdom of the oracle is the key to the future. You may y'all then ask Eldamar, but what is the sense of choosing someone who appears most ill suited for the assignment to do the assignment? It is like asking the snail to do 100-meter sprint. Eldamar then said, Yemaya, be trusty of your divination oracle. If the oracle says that the snail will win in 100-meter sprint, then surely the snail will win the race. Now that the oracle has chosen the Shyamalan to go on the important assignment, it's best for us to respect the wish of the oracle. Not respecting the wish of the oracle is deadly. What we need to do, rather than doubt the oracle, is begin to prepare Shyamalan for the most important journey. Whatever we find to be the Shyamalan's weakness, we must fortify to enable the poor creature to carry out that one's task. Ogun